I didn't go down to like 2 plus 2 in my question, so I feel like I didn't pass.
Long. We're not doing that one.
We're not.
No, we're just not doing it.
Wait, then what? Which ones are we doing?
Let me just tell you with this, children, what we're doing today is 100% of what my little philosophy on my website is. It's not hard, but it is way confusing. And what you need to do to keep it less confusing is you must be neat and organized. And make sure you write everything out. Because you really should almost take a whole piece of paper for some of these problems because they are not that hard. It's just that, you know, you miss a negative sign somewhere, you do something there, blah, 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 blah. Really all it is the distributive property. They call it with rational expressions, which means with fractions. So, like, example number 1, they have x squared over y squared, and then in parentheses you have x squared over y plus something 3y cubed over m. And all it is a bunch of gobbledygook letters that really don't mean anything, and your answer is not going to mean anything, but you kind of need to know how to work with that because that's what happens in math when you get to those whatever equations. It just follows the rules of the distributive property that say, you know, you have to multiply everything on the outside times everything on the inside. That's the distributive property. But the hardest thing is step number 2 when you have to simplify the whole thing. And that's where most people, if they're going to get stuff like this wrong, they do. So it's just a matter of doing the work here. If you multiply this fraction times that fraction, you get x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Y squared times y is y to the 3rd, plus x squared times 3y squared is 3x squared, sorry, y cubed, oh boy, and then here you get y squared m. And then the question is, can you simplify that any farther?
Probably.
No. This one you can't. First of all, you can't add fractions together unless they have common denominators. We got to the point where we're going to do that. You can't put these two together. There are no x's on the bottom to cross off of the x's on top, and there's no y's on top to cross off of the y's there. Oh, there is a y. We can simplify it. I'm sorry. You're probably not stating what was right. You can take, because these are all factors again, notice there's no addition subtraction signs in this term. This has y cubed, which is y times y, and you can cross 2 of those y cubes out with 2 of the y squareds on the bottom, and be left with just a single y on top. So then your answer is this bad boy fraction, x to the 4th y cubed plus 3xy over m. Most people don't like that because it's ugly, it's messy, it's not simple, it's not a simple sort of thing. And then of course, guess what they have you do?
Word problems.
Something
No,
else.
they have you say, because you have variables on the bottom of fractions, you have to state, what can't letters be?
0.
Well, what, yeah, you can't have, y cannot be 0, because we get that, if you put a 0 in for y, you get a 0 on the bottom of the fraction, and that's the biggest breach of the 10 commandments of math, and m cannot be 0. So if ever you see in math them say, state the excluded values, they're just asking you, tell me what I can't, what numbers, what letters can't be that would give me a 0 on the bottom of a fraction, because that's just ugly. Now, you're saying that one wasn't so bad, so here we go. Let's just jump all the way in to what I consider the most absolutely incredulously goofy problem in the history of mankind. Ready?
Perfect. Just what I wanted.
I'll let you look at it. Look at page 246.
Oh no. Can't even say it so well.
Which one would you say looks the most
Oh,
difficult?
R squared.
D.
A.
No, we're not
D.
A.
D.
D.
No,
G.
G.
D, E, F, or G?
F. D.
F.
I would say
G.
F.
Because it has negative exponents.
It's got 3 terms.
Well, so does G.
There is no G.
There is a G. Are you blind?
Are you
Where's G?
It's
Let's-
the biggest
Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm on the bottom. Sorry.
Let's look at letter G. Just because it incorporates everything. A rectangular canvas is to be painted the area of the canvas with, the area of the canvas
Why can't you just
is
get it on
represented by the
canvas?
expression. It just says it's simplified. No, we're gonna do F. Alright,
Yippee.
let's do F. And again, the worst part really is writing the goofy problem down. For those of you that are careless, which I would say equates to about 30% of you,
Yeah.
Zx over y w to the -2, and then in parentheses, z d -2x over w plus 5 tz minus. On the positive side, you look really smart if you can work with all this stuff, but it's not that hard.
How often do you use this in your everyday life?
You will use this on your entrance exam into college,
I'm not going to.
so you're not. What are you gonna do?
Not go to college.
I say often there's actually gonna be a huge need for kids that are in the trades more than college, and you'll make a decent living and a decent wage and the whole works.
Straight.
I'm gonna run a little
Maybe a YouTube.
I mean, trades are people that run heavy machinery or
That's my dad.
laptop or whatever.
Welders?
I already know how to do
Welders, builders,
But
construction.
you wanna be a
Why?
farmer?
We're gonna get our third word work soon.
What's that?
Profession Carter.
So, here we go. Distributive property, again, remember you make this a fraction by putting it over 1. You multiply the top stuff, you multiply the bottom stuff, multiplying the tops together, you get z squared is that a d to the -2 x squared over, what's w to the -2 times w?
W to the 1.
-1.
W to
If you
the
add those two together, -2 and 1, you get w to the negative first power. For the second term, you get what? 5 x t z over 1.
Z squared.
No, there's no z. Oh, there is a z squared. You're right. I think I was thinking that was a 2 or something. I don't know.
Isn't it over W to the -2?
It is over w to the -2.
Alright, Tyler.
Stop,
Tyler,
Tyler.
stop.
I'm trying to make him get the right answer, okay?
Stop making the teacher. Okay, w squared,
Stop, because
-2.
you're making me confused.
And then the last one,
That's my wife.
you are going to go squared. Is that a 2 or is that a z? Did I say that?
That's a 2.
So you get 2zx, did I get that right, Tyler?
Yes.
Over w to the -6.
I would like to think of it math.
Now,
What are we gonna do?
here's how we fix this, Parker.
These are last time.
The deal with this is you are never allowed to have negative exponents except in scientific notation. So we need to, on this first term, fix this and fix this. And the fix is simply by
You'll put the d squared at the bottom.
moving it from top to bottom or bottom to top. So you end up with the z squared, it's fine. The w to the first power, which is just w. The x squared stays on top, but on bottom I had to move that d to the -2, it becomes d to the +2. Plus, over here, the only thing that needs fixing is the w to the -2, so it stays 5x t z squared, but then I have to put the w squared with it. And then I have minus, the only thing I need to fix over there is that w to the -6, 2 z x w6.
This is long.
And then if I asked you what would be the excluded values,
D can't be 0.
d can't be 0.
Wow, we're so smart.
Hey, I got the D that can't equal 0. I win.
Is that just the answer?
That is the answer, yes. You can do nothing more with this, they're not like terms. And that's kind of why
To
this.
solve this problem, if 2 was D.
What if they are like?
What if I asked you to solve that for T?
Oh
no. Please don't. That would be bad.
It'd actually be pretty simple.
It would take a
Well,
while.
actually, no, it wouldn't much.
But my brain power is not.
According to you, you made it into Bending like the 98th percentile, so you should be fine.
First of all, it doesn't tell you, you don't
Okay.
have an equal sign, so you really
You
can't
don't
read
have
that
all
down
this
that good.
97.9.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my god.
Yeah,
You don't have this stuff.
Hey,
Let's-
guys.
Is it
Us.
appropriate?
It is.
I had to draw.
I think we will stop just as it is.
They just like
Thank you.